game of basketball has taken us places we can never imagine. From winning 4 EuroLeague titles,
playing 6 years in 5 countries,
and making connections with people from all around the world.
we have stories that can last a lifetime. Now it's time to tell yours.
When I met Michael Jordan for the first time, and still to this day, if I see him, he's glowing.
It just came down to, like I said, looking myself in the mirror like, brother, do you want to play ball or not?
I've never been in an environment like EuroLeague.
Because, living over here in Europe, bro, we kings over this jump, bro.
Right.
Denver Nuggets.
Appreciate y'all having us on here.
Yes, sir. Big time. This is really dope.
This is Hoop Tales.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition, a very special edition today of the Hoop Tales podcast. Today, we got a legendary figure, both on and off the basketball court. His name, speaks for itself. His nickname, Homicide. You already know. So, I was going to say, a big what's up to my guy, Corey Homicide Williams, coming from Melbourne. What's up, man? How's everything?
What's going on, brothers? Thanks for having me, man. How y'all doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. So we gonna jump right into it, man. You're Jamaican. You come from New York City. But growing up, you split time between both places. So let's talk about your childhood growing up. Between both places in both both different countries.
Yeah. My whole family's Jamaican, and obviously the kids. My parents, they came up. Our grandparents migrated for a better life, and they ended up connecting, having us. Mm-hmm. And in Jamaican culture, in West Indian culture, a lot of times when school is out, elementary school, they'll send the kids down to be with the family for the whole summer.
Yeah.
Back in those days, I wasn't playing basketball. I was a late bloomer. Like, I started playing at 12. And as we know, coming from New York, that's basketball mecca. Dudes is coming out the womb hooping. You know what I mean? So I had the last thing I even thought about was playing ball. My brother played for Riverside and Gauchos.
Yeah.
So
Riverside.
One specific summer, I didn't go to Jamaica. And I was home, and I was just like, man, I'm bored, man. What you got going on today? He was like, I got a game. I was like, all right, I ain't got nothing else to do. Let me go with you and watch you play. And he went down to Harlem. And back in those days, coming from the Bronx, you as young as we weren't traveling to other boroughs. You stayed in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I wasn't accustomed or familiar or educated enough about Harlem, which is a whole nother world in itself. So anyway, jump on the train, go to Harlem, he's playing. And it was love at first sight. This shit was an obsession. I was like, oh my God, like, I want to play this game. I don't know how to play, but I want to play. So already from the gate, I was a project. I was hyperactive. So I was always able to play defense. Guys with a bunch of energy. If nothing else, you can play D. You don't need talent or skill to play defense.
Right.
So from there, like, that's how it began. So middle school, I was a class clown. And the only way I could get attention is being a class clown. So back in those days, they would, if you were borderline with your grades between a C, D, or an F, they would basically give you a grade based on your behavior. Mm-hmm. So as a class clown, I'm always getting in trouble. So if I was borderline, it's not going to be to my favor, the grade. So my report card was all red, right? I was just bad. And it wasn't bad like he's doing bad stuff, like he's beating kids up, he's stealing, but it was just discipline issues. My dad died when I was 3, and my mother, who was an RN, raised us in the Bronx. So now it's time to go to high school, and I'm not getting accepted to any schools I've applied for, obviously, for all the right reasons, due to my bad grades. So I ended up getting accepted to a school called Washington Irving in the Village. I go down there, and the line for orientation might have had 20 kids.
Yeah.
15 of them was girls. I just told you I was getting in trouble for being a class clown with the girls. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love this. My mother said, oh yeah, you think so? Okay, let's go. We got off the line. I'm like, I didn't get my ID. She said, don't worry about that. The next day, she takes me to a private all-boys Catholic school in Harlem. Graduating class is only 90 kids. I don't know where I'm going, okay? I have no idea where we're going. We go in, we sit down with the dean. This is legendary Rice High School, by the way, right? So I have no idea. I know nothing about this school. I know nothing about Felipe Lopez. I know nothing about being a basketball powerhouse. I know nothing about this school is the #1 high school in the nation.
Yeah.
I just know you got to wear a shirt, a tie, some shoes, and some slacks, right? So I don't come from any money. So I got to go to this is favor back in the days. That's basically like Payless. My mother got to go to get me to wear to this school if they let me in. So we see the dean, Brother Walderman. They look at my transcript. They're like, yo, look, I'm sorry, we can't let your son in this school. Academically, he will fail. There's no way he can keep up with our curriculum based off these grades. My mother begged the dean to let her son in, paid her tuition, and the dean said, we'll put him on academic probation for the first half of the freshman year. Then we'll reassess. I had an 80 average. So clearly it wasn't that I was not able to do the work. It was a lack of discipline.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They had a dean who was strict, and it comes down to accountability breeds responsibility. I understood my mother's paying tuition out of her pocket. I was so bad. Well, again, I hate to say bad, but it is what it is. Like I was, having so much issues with discipline in middle school that the principal said to me, look, you've completed the courses. You cannot walk to graduate, but you just know you graduated. Like you just can't go to the ceremony. My mother took me to work that day of the graduation and sat me in the lobby. Everybody at the co-workers knew me, and they're like, yo, how you doing? Why you not in school? And I had to explain to everybody. That was that
was almost like a punishment for you.
It was, and it was disappointing. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating, and it humiliated her. And I never wanted her to feel like that again. It's just interesting how certain things you never forget. You know what I'm saying? It impacts you, whether positive or negative. So, I remember that. And, moving forward, when your mother's paying tuition, you take things a little bit more serious. So I ended up, I'm in Rice High School. Now, this is the famous school. We in Harlem. We down the block from the Apollo, Apollo, famous 125th Street. This is a whole nother world. And it changed my life for the better because all of these incredible basketball players, the talent that was in that school, and the project that I was, if I wanted to be a part of this, I had to step my game up. I had to be better every day because of the talent. So if you're around nothing but fucking greatness, you know what I mean? It's going to push you to be the best you can potentially be. So either way, if you do not achieve greatness and you started from here and you moved up, you've gotten way better due to the competition in the school. So every year I got better. These guys kept pushing me. You're around an incredible human, Felipe Lopez. This was the guy. I don't have to say who he is. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking LeBron before LeBron in high school. And to see how humble he was and how he carried himself. He carried himself like I was carrying myself at Rice. This is the #1 player in the nation. Everybody you saw, head coach-wise in college, came to that school looking for him. Kobe came, Shaq came. These dudes don't even need to come. They in the NBA at that point.
That's what I was going to say. You gotta paint the picture because, like, for us, we know who Felipe Lopez is. But paint the picture of you walking into school and then you realizing this is Felipe Lopez and the reaction that other people had across the country about who he is, and not only him, but just about New York City basketball at the time, because not only Felipe, you had Guy Shamgar, you had Stephon Marbury. Like, paint the picture, like, New York City basketball, like, at the time when you was there, when you was coming around.
I mean, I started 91 and 95 was my era at Rice. I'm a bit older.
Yeah.
This was the height of basketball in New York City. You know, public school, they had some dogs there, you know, but the Catholic School Association, man, it was so much talent. You know, every school had a crew. They had about three or four players that can really go. This is back in the day when your whole roster's going D1. Like, the whole team is going D1. Even scrubs is going D1. That's the strength of the roster. You know, it was so much talent at Rice. They had a varsity B team. What school does that? Varsity B? You know what I'm saying? Like, usually you go freshman, sophomore, you go freshman, you go JV. Then you play varsity your last 2 years. I had to play varsity B. That's how much talent was in Rice. I couldn't even make varsity A.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even play with Felipe. In varsity, my junior year, they won the city and state championship. Then my senior year, we played, and you know, Mo Hicks took over, Maurice Hicks. He was the senior coach. Gary Saunders was a senior. He was set to go with Steph to Georgia Tech. I was a senior, but again, I was a late bloomer. I didn't have any offers. You know, I didn't pass the SAT, so I knew I had to go to JUCO. My varsity B assistant coach got me a look at a JUCO in Kansas City.
Wow.
He came to watch me play. I balled out that game. Obviously, they took me on a visit. Of course, I'm assigned. That's my only fucking option. Go out to JUCO. I looked at everybody in their eyes. I said, look, I ain't good now. I ain't that good now. But I'm going to work my ass off, and I'm going to catch you. And when I catch you, I'm going to bust your ass. They all laughed. They all laughed. Yeah, it went like that. It went exactly like that. Right? Because, you know, when you're that good and a guy who isn't that good is saying these things, it's funny. We're in high school, you know what I mean? Like, it's funny. Like, fuck out of here, yo. I'm always bust your ass. I'm like, yeah, all right. You know?
Keep it moving.
Cool. Yeah. So we graduate. Ended up going to Penn Valley Community College, which is a Division II JUCO in Kansas City, Missouri. So now it's a kid from the Bronx going to the Midwest. Shit is super slow. Totally different lifestyle, you know? And I knew what I wanted to do. I was focused. I knew I wanted to play ball. I knew I wanted to be a professional athlete. I knew I wanted to play in the NBA. And, you know, the journey began. There's nobody holding your hand anymore. You got to figure this shit out. So I hit JUCO. My freshman year, we won the championship. I got no playing time. The dude in front of me was the guy. He was an All-American. We win the championship. You can't bitch or complain. This motherfucker's legit. You know what I mean? What can you do? You know, the championship game, they put me in the last maybe 15 seconds. You know, these are things that happen. So it just adds more fuel to the fire. Like, why the fuck would you put a kid in the game that's won with 20 seconds? You might as well don't put the fucking kid in. You know what I mean? Who the fuck wants to be on the court with 20 seconds left?
Right.
You know? So anyway, cool. That coach leaves on the bigger and better things. The new coach comes in. I write a list down. I hit the weight room like no other. JUCO's a different ball game. I'm not sure if any one of you guys ever been to junior college, but that's a job. Okay,
Yeah.
There's no security. You have 2 years to show you deserve at a 4-year institution to get a scholarship. Right? Back in those days, there was no social media. There was no for real internet, really, to be honest with you. So there's basically not that much exposure. You really have to go to exposure camps. Hopefully you can get into it to get the exposure. So again, as a late bloomer, I wrote down a list. I was known for writing lists.
Yeah.
And every day I would look at the list. These are the things I want to accomplish. I want to get back and win a motherfucking national championship because, again, I want to prove you wrong. I'll show you. That's always been the mindset. You don't believe in me, I'll show you. So I did everything. I was first team All-American. We went back to the championship. We lost. I was Region 16 MVP. Like everything I wrote down, I got done. I got the opportunity to play, and I took advantage of the opportunity. When you are not as talented or skillful or 7 foot or super athletic or just a natural bucket getter early, things aren't really set up for you. You have to prove way more when you aren't that talented and good at a younger age, right? We'll get back to that. So as the late bloomer, I ended up getting an opportunity to go to an HBCU, Alabama State. I always wanted to go to an HBCU based off the fact that the one fucking thing Bill Cosby did really well was to pick African Americans in the right way on television, right? We had him as a doctor, Claire as a fucking lawyer, right? Incredible kids. You know, we had the village kid, Denise, ended up, they going to HBCU. Hillman was Howard University. So watching that, seeing us like that, made me feel like this shit is dope. I want to go to a black school. That's what I called it back then. Anyway, ended up getting an opportunity to go to Alabama State. While I was hustling when I mean hustling, I'll tell you what hustling means for me. While I was hustling in junior college, again, I was a late bloomer. I had 1 year to prove myself to get worthy of a scholarship at a school that I felt was high level enough and respectable enough. Back in those days, you didn't want to go to D2, right? There's no social media. You want to go D1 or nothing. If you don't go D1, it ain't shit. That's the mindset that we were on back in those days. So I went and got those college magazines, Street and Smith's, whatever, you know, the preseason magazines, you know, predicted what these schools are predicted, first team, all whack, whatever. I went and grabbed the book, and I grabbed every division. I would find the bottom 3 schools and find what point guard or 2 guard was a senior who was leaving. That means they need to recruit at that position immediately. I got a template, I typed it up, and I put every address of those schools and every coach, and I mail letters. I was literally shopping myself to schools because everybody don't know me. So let me put myself out there and mail letters to schools. I mailed probably like 400 letters, 300 letters, some shit like that.
Where did that come from? Like, where did that, like, you just,
I mean, that's
just grind
and hustle. If I mean, it's again, when you are not good at a young age, okay, you have to understand how to diversify yourself. Like, I was never in a position to wait for people to find me.
Right.
I'm gonna let you know that I'm here, okay? That's what I had to do. Nobody ain't gonna do the shit for you, right? That's grind, that's investing in yourself. So I did that. And the same way I got a template letter I sent out, I got template letters back. Some coaches hit me back, you know, we have that position available. But that's what I had to do because I'm looking at it like, for example, you go to a club, you holler at how many chicks? You ain't hitting all of them. All you need is 1 or 2, right? So what we doing? We cast in the net, then we fish it, and we see what's going to happen, right? But the difference is I applied that hustle to my life to better me as opposed to socially, right? So, okay, it started getting there, and, you know, I ended up getting the scholarship to Alabama State. I get there, and it was good my junior year. You know, I averaged 16, 15 at Alabama State, which is D1. So I'm like, 2 more buckets, you're around 20. Back in them days, listen, this is, you know, the thing is that's dope about this is that a lot of times people are not real with themselves.
Right.
I understood where I was at. There was no false pretenses. I'm at a mid-level school and it's small. I'm not going to the tournament, right? This is when you go play schools, you lose by like 40. Y'all having a field day against us, right? That's them type of schools we were at. So if you can average 20, maybe get an invite to like Portsmouth or one of those.
Yeah.
All's out from there. Like you go from there.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just trying to average 20 to get to where some of the elite players are to get a look. We end up losing a lot of those games in the pre non-conference schedule because them shits was a beast.
The money games.
Coach fucking gives up on the senior class, sits us down, plays a freshman. So I finish up averaging like 10 points a game, 9 points a game, right? Senior year's over. I'm done, right? No agent, no big name, dream, a wash. I told my mother, Ma, I want to go pro. She said, I don't care what you do, just graduate. I said, done. I ended up getting a degree in criminal justice. I'm in the dorm. I swear to God, it goes like this. I'm in a dorm, reading a magazine, Slam, the Bible of basketball. They're talking about street ball, right? So I'm like, Rucker Park, we hear all the stories, as a Bronx kid, that's our NBA. So I'm like, fuck it, I guess I got to try to go pro from the street ball, right? So that's what it was. Graduated, went home. Now, the Corey Williams from 95 is not the Corey Williams from 2000. That's a different beast. He got better. He got stronger. I'm thinking about you guys every day.
The guys
how when I catch y'all every day, you guys thinking how you left me is how you remember me.
Right.
So you ain't worried about me. Your names are all on lists without you even knowing it. How can you prepare for a man who's ready to kill you and you don't know?
You don't even know.
You can't. You're losing because once you see me, you remember me as, that's just Corey. He just plays defense.
Yeah.
Not knowing the arsenal that I have, and I've been thinking about you for 4 years. We get to Rucker Park and these big tournaments in New York, nobody knows me, nobody remembers me. And if they do, it's Corey from Rice, right? So I play you. We at Rucker, first game, 40. Ended that game with Homicide. That was the name. They gave me a name. As the game progressed, the name got harder and tougher. The next game after that, 40. They dropped the C. It was Homicide since. Now, how about this? I'm thinking every game, I need to keep a rep. I need to build this rep. The way y'all approaching EuroLeague and all of that, draft camps, all of that, is how I'm approaching playground basketball. Why? That's all I had. Never want to see a motherfucker with nothing to lose. You will lose.
Right.
If you ain't, I was ready to die for it. In fact, I was ready to kill for it. That's even worse. If you ain't ready to kill for it or die for it, move out that man way. You will lose. I guarantee you will lose. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. 4 years back at my mother's house after college. Who wants to go home? You're not the same person you were if you grew in the 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that person. This dream got to start. How? No help. Nobody's done it before me. My brother didn't love the game. He didn't go pro. Went to college. Fucking water in his knees. Fuck this shit. Who do I have to go to for help, for advice? Nobody. Got to figure this shit out yourself. All right, I'm going to write this list down. I'm going to go to this park. It's times I'm playing 3-4 games a day. I got to keep going because somebody going to see me. Somebody going to see me. Somebody going to see me. Nothing happens in a fucking year. I can be a boxer. Mayweather's that nigga. Mayweather ain't thinking about me. Mayweather's the best. I'm on the card trying to get there. How many years it takes for even Mayweather to even think about you if he decides to want to fight you? He ain't gonna do it. So I was going to parks and gyms where you guys were at. Y'all ain't thinking about me. I'm hunting you down. I'm going to your hood. This the park y'all work out at? All right, bet. Let's go there.
Yeah.
Now you like, well, I don't give a fuck about this, you know, dude, whatever. You not on what I'm on because your path is not my path. You know what I'm saying? You there already. What was dope about New York playgrounds was the fact that we come from the park. So it wasn't strange if you see a Steph Marbury at Rucker. He's from New York. We understand playground basketball. That's in our DNA. It's nothing when you see Lance, you'll see Ron. The stories look incredible when you're reading it, when you're not from it. But if you're from it, you understand. High school All-Americans, college All-Americans, dudes that play overseas, pros that show up, you know, streetball legends that will never make it to the pros. So it's so much talent there. It's a huge, incredible melting pot. You never know who's in town that may want to play a game. You know, and back in them days, it was dudes getting money in the street.
Yeah.
So dudes is paying dudes. So you got real dudes making, you know, you go to a game in Ruck, you might get $1,000. Then you go to Dykeman, you might get another stack. You making money that could pay your rent, an average guy. You understand what I'm saying? In the summer, so dudes is taking this shit serious. Then there's side bets on games. It was real.
Nah,
you know, I'm just looking at this shit like it's an opportunity for me to jumpstart a career. This is just how I'm looking at street ball.
That's what I was going to ask you. So most people, and the kind of knock on New York basketball is that people's okay being a local celebrity. Like, you could have been in New York and you could have I'm Homicide, and that'd have been great for you, which happens a lot of times when the summer's in New York. You got so many guys that they just content with being the hood superstar or the hood favorite. When did you kind of figure out the path was like, listen, I could be bigger than New York City and I could use this as an opportunity to kind of give me a career or put me in a position to get out of New York City? Because most people are like, I'm good. Like, I'm the man over at Rucker. I'm the man over at Dykeman. I'm the man at the cage. Why am I going to leave? When did you kind of listen, I'm using this to get out?
In the dorm at Alabama State. You know, a lot of people that think like that, I don't believe. You can have higher education, but still not have a higher education. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dudes that go to college that do the same stupid shit as if they don't even have a fucking degree. Like, they ain't got no common sense. My goal and my vision for myself was way bigger. It was just a different platform that I had to use. It was my only platform. So the way I had to approach these games, it's not leisure. You know what I'm saying? I ain't you guys. You know, so I took the hustle different as far as this lane. A lot of guys that don't need the lane ain't approaching it like me. You know what I'm saying? You approaching the hardwood off the rip like how I was, but not playground basketball. You get what I'm saying? Like, the way you approaching it is like, you know, guys like, you know, you come out, you play the park, you be like, yo, I ain't going that hard because I don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm just going for a little run or whatever, you know, show love to my hood or whatever. You get what I'm saying? And then keep it moving. But when you in the gym and you in front of those fucking coaches, you going hard. So that's how I was going hard. I was just hoping to somehow, one of these games, somebody see me. Fast forward, I ended up seeing a legendary coach. He died at the time, named Sid Jones. He was the coach of a team called Brooklyn United, a very well-respected team in New York City. These guys were pros. They play overseas, and I'm fucking killing everybody, right? So they like, yo, you got to see this dude, Homicide. He's dropping 40, dropping 50. He this. So I ended up hooking up with him, and I was like, Coach, man, like, they tell me you the guy, like, I need help. Mm-hmm. And he said, look, play with me in this tournament. I said, cool. He said, I'm not going to be there, but another coach will be there. I come, 40, we win. He did that shit like 3 times. Then the 4th time, he finally showed up, and I'm playing. So now I was nervous because I'm like, fuck, this is a guy that could this is what I've been waiting on. The right opportunity for this guy to see me, and he could change it. I fucking lay an egg. Play like shit. I was so fucking sick because I said, yo, this was the opportunity. I blew it. How could I blow this? Like, how could I fuck up and blow it like this? Say, yo, Coach, man, I'm sorry, man. I said, I'm sorry, man. He was like, look, don't worry. You owe me one. But he was, a matter of fact, you owe me 2. Check this shit out. So in another tournament, the cage, I play. If I played with him and I fucked up on Thursday, I played against him on Saturday. I had 57 on that nigga. He said we even.
Damn.
we even. And the first job that he got me, he said to me, summer was done. This was the first summer 2000. Summer finished, and he was like, I said, Coach, look, I'll take anything. I don't care. I don't want to be home. And he said, look, I'm going to tell you, this ain't real basketball, but it's a job. It's better than not being home. You could take it if you want it. I said, whatever you got for me, I'll take it. Listen to this shit. I was on tour with the Globetrotters. Now, I just said I was on tour with the Globetrotters. I never told you I was a Globetrotter. I was on the team that lost to the Globetrotters every fucking night, the New York Nationals. That was my first job.
Damn.
Yeah. 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 Real shit, right? So check this. I go in the locker room. Shit was like Bad News Bears. Go in the locker room. I got on late. I swear to God, this shit was hilarious, right? So I got on late with the tour. And the tour was the West Coast tour, which was the greatest thing that could ever happen for me at the time. So now I'm like, I jump on the tour Christmas Day. We in the United Center, the West Coast tour, you play in the NBA arenas. Yeah. So I get in the locker room, we in Chicago. I'm like, fuck, this is Mike's locker room. You know, you see the statue. Like, first time I'm in the shop, I get in the locker room, team. Some motherfuckers is doing ads, other fat dude just chilling. Like the shit was like a scene out of like Major League. I swear to God, yo. Right? So I come in, I'm like, look, we gonna beat these dudes today. Telling you. They like, you could tell he's new.
First time.
Yo, we lost by like 25. You cannot beat the Globetrotters because it's a show. Right, you in practicing the magic circle. So that shit they do, like it's a show. You have to allow them to score. Those are show points. So, you know, you might play 4 minutes of each quarter real, but they don't play real ball. It's a show. Yeah. So it was the most frustrating thing as a competitor. You can't win. So I had to switch my mindset and understand, even in a situation you may not want to be in, 1, it's better than being home. 2, you're being paid to do something. 3, think of the best thing, like it's perspective. You know what I'm saying? This ain't where I'm going to be in my life. This is just a pit stop. So embrace this situation, have fun with it, learn from it, make sure you don't ever get into a space like this ever again, and keep it moving. That's no different than a Hollywood fucking A-lister that made it after being in a chicken soup giving out flyers. Mm-hmm. It's all perspective. You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand what lane you are in and where you're trying to achieve. What is your end game? You know, my current situation isn't my final destination. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nigga that got Kanye confidence, regardless of where I'm at. You understand? So after that, I jumped into USBL. He got me in the USBL with the Brooklyn Kings. So back in them days, I mean, if you don't know the USBL might be like damn near like the G League before the G League. It was USBL, CBA, those type of leagues. So I jump into USBL, average 20, shoot from the 3, 40%. After that, over about 25 games. After that, I get a job to go to DR to finish the season. So in my head, as an import, I'm like, all right, cool. Here's what I got to do. Win, lose, or draw, I got to average 20. 20 is always the number, right? If you can average 20, 4, and 4, you'll keep a job. How do you average 20 in a game? If you're an import, you're always going to have the ball. I'm a point guard. I can dictate how I distribute the ball or go. I'm a bigger, stronger guard. Back in them days, 6'3", 215. I got a big frame, so I'm going to overpower the guard that's in front of me, right? I'm one of the best penetrators in the world. That was one thing I can do. If you know a New York guard, niggas will get to the rack, right? So if I'm gonna play 20 to 30 minutes a game, the whole key is to get 5 points a quarter. That's 20.
Sounds like light work, really. You think about
That is light work, right? Because now, if you even say you get 4 points a quarter, right? The way I go to the rack, I can dictate when I'm getting in the bonus or not. I can give you the ball 3 times, work you out. Your big man, y'all gonna bang in the post. Let that foul count get to 3. 2 more fouls after that, we in the bonus. I'm shooting free throws. So I had to be more cerebral with everything that I was doing for lack of opportunity. You understand? So it became more of a thinking game for me as well as playing. So I get the DR average 20. After that, I go to Brazil. So now the journey begins. A little farther away, a little 2 steps away from fucking the globe trotter.
every stop is one stop further.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But, you know, whenever things got tough, because things got tough, I was in Brazil when, you know, Nene played, Leandrino Barbosa played, Alex played. They had like, Brazil league was tough. And that's when those Brazilians, they was going to the league. So it was a good league. I ended up averaging about 18 again. That was always my number. You know, 16 to 20, if I could do that and get to the playoffs. That's the key. You can't have a losing season. So, you know, every game was a fucking grind, just making sure, like, you know, you hype your team up, you make sure they good. You know, just doing those things, just trying to jumpstart this thing. The money was shit. Obviously, you ain't got no good resume. Who gonna pay you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't care about that because I cared about building it. In the beginning, it's always about playing, stay in the season, saving your little chips, get your numbers, and get the highlight tape to prove that you belong.
Right.
You know what I mean? The content is key. And it started like that. The journey started, but I was always still looking forward to street basketball because I knew I was Corey Williams when I went to go play, but I was Homicide in the park. So my whole focus was kill the park, you can get a shot to the NBA. For some fucking reason, I actually believed that when nobody got a shot to the NBA prior to that. You know, well, years later, I ended up, you know, fast forward, I was playing abroad and shit. And 1 year at Rucker, I fucking got a MVP of Rucker. I was killing. I was averaging like 30 that summer. And the team that I played against in the playoffs, they brought Ron Artest. They bring Ron, and he was Defensive Player of the Year for Indiana. And I finished that game with 26. I got MVP of Rucker at that game. That changed my mind mentally. Ron Artest, Indiana Pacers.
Right.
Not nigga.
I was gonna say, like, you giving down like the watered down version. Like, you gotta give the audience that real deal, that real shit.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta let.
You gotta go back. That's the Rucker part of it. So you gotta talk about the whole summer.
Yeah.
The summer of Homicide summer. You gotta talk about the whole summer.
That was
with
the
the
next summer. That was the next summer.
Okay. My bad. I fucked up.
So that summer when I played against Ron, I didn't know he was coming to the park. He just appeared. I was like, oh shit. All right, nigga. Well, you killing everybody. Don't matter if you killing average street ball players. You're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? You want to get to the league. Well, motherfucker, prove it. Prove it you are worthy of even stepping foot on a court in the NBA. This is the defensive player of the league. He is New York City.
Yeah.
Okay? He don't get no tougher than Ron Artest.
Yeah.
So during this game, he blocked my shot. He stole it from. He's a defensive player of the year. This was the hardest fucking a matchup in my life.
Yeah.
Wiry, strong, you know what I mean? And get that shit out of here. I said, motherfucker, I'm coming right back. Came back right after that, ripped through, left hand, scored. I was like, all right, I could score on him. Like, these are phases in my head.
Yeah.
Like, these are things in my head as the game is playing. I'm saying to myself, all right, I could score on him. every fucking play I made, it had to be precise because he was right there. If I made the layup like he just missed it, I couldn't do none of this shit. He'd have blocked it. So I ended up, the double team started to come. It shocked the shit out of me. We ended up losing my 2 points, but nobody gives a fuck. I don't care about wins or losses in street ball.
It's street ball.
Only street ball legends care about that. Like street hood props, motherfuckers care about that. I needed that platform to show I could put up numbers to get exposure with these crazy numbers I'm putting up. I can tell you right now who won the most rings in the NBA. Bill Russell. Who got the most championships in street ball? Nobody fucking knows because nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? But they'll tell you the story about the motherfucker that had 50 against you know who. That's the legendary stories that live on. So that's what I knew I was chasing. For example, dudes got so much talent and so nice, they'd rather team up and say, yo, I played with Ron Artest at Rucker. Fuck that. I played against him and gave him 26 and got MVP. If you're playing with them, what you got to do in the game? You got to give him the fucking ball.
Move out the way.
What I want to give him the ball for? I'm trying to show what I can do. So I knew how to align myself with certain teammates where I knew I could James Harden the shit. So if you are a big name and you're a big name with all the props and you a guard and you come in to the park, nigga, you come into my world. I don't give a fuck what you do in the league. I'm going to get the ball just as much as you. I'm going to shoot the ball just as much as you. I'm not coming out the game. Nigga, I'm finishing with 30, if nothing else. If nothing else, I'm shooting with 30. There's no coach that's going to be like, yo, you turn the ball over, come out. Nah, we on even turf. So that's why those matchups were always more favorable to me. So after that game, I went overseas. I forgot what country I went to, but then I came back and they usually put out Slam, the street ball edition, which is the summer edition, and they talk about street ball players, blah blah blah. My name wasn't in the magazine. I said, yo, I just gave Ron Artest the defensive player of the year, and these motherfuckers still ain't fucking. You still talking about these same regular motherfuckers? I said, all right, motherfucker, it's on. That became the summer Homicide. I averaged 40 everywhere. The first game at Rucker Park, J.R. Smith, Dante Jones, Kenny Satterfield, Big Strick, God bless the dead, Ali Mo, God bless the dead. 47. That's the shot that put everybody on notice. That's how the Toronto Raptors assistant coach Jim Todd came to see me after that, because that was on NBA TV. So motherfuckers was like, oh shit. Yo, 47? Threes, dunks, layups. J.R. Smith on one wing, Dante Jones on another. The whole beef was me against Ali Mo, but Ali Mo had 3 fouls in like 4 minutes, the first 4 minutes. So he had to sit down and watch. Now I got NBA legitimate players on me. 47. After that, that shit just set the whole summer on notice. Pro City, because you got the bougie pros who don't play at Rucker. They be like, I don't play up there. I do it in Pro City. Average 40 that summer in Pro City. We lost in the chip to Nike when I averaged 40. MVP at Pro City. They dubbed the whole summer. That's when the New York Post would do write-ups. The summer of Homicide.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Then Jim Todd came, this was the game-changing summer. Jim Todd came, who was the assistant at Toronto at the time, and called me. How he got in touch with me was because a mentor of mine, who I met months prior, I went to China. I got injured. Had to have surgery. Came back, went to Venezuela, and finished in Venezuela. Came home, and maybe a month earlier, I went on a tour to China, which was just like a 1 week tour. You know, you play a bunch of games, whatever. We played against the national team minus Yao Ming. This guy name was Tony Parker. Not Tony Parker, that's in the league, Tony Parker, but another man named Tony Parker from Chicago. I told him my story. He was like, yo, you can play in the NBA. Never heard that before. That was like a motherfucker telling Precious she a bad bitch. Never heard it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a model. You can walk on the runway for, Victoria's Secret. This is basically telling a dude who never heard nothing like this. So it was foreign, but I was like, damn, like, he really believes in me. I need help. So I told him my story in China. He said, look, I will not promise you anything, but let's just keep in touch. He had friends in high places, and he had a friend for 15 plus years told him, if you ever see a player that you have who you believe can play in the league, I'll give him a look. He never used that favor, 15 years. But for me, he called his man, who he called Jim Todd. This is a bad motherfucker. Here's the proof in the pudding. Showed him the NBA TV footage of that game. Jim Todd, here's the difference. Because again, we all know a lot of street ball players can't play pro.
Yeah.
2 different games, we know this. Jim Todd, and there was a stigma with street ball players. Jim Todd coached at Columbia University. He's from Boston, but he lived in New York for a while. So he understood the culture of New York City playground basketball. He didn't look at me or think, oh, he's just a street ball player and won all those fucking stupid ass tricks. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. He understood the culture. He calls me one day. Hey, Homicide, how you doing, man? What you got going on today? One morning. Say, hey, coach, how you doing? I just woke up. Hey, coach, how you doing? I said, I'm good, man. Where you play at today? He said, you got a game? I said, yeah. He said, where at? He said, you play at Pro City? I was like, nah. He said, you at Rucker? I said, nah. He said, where you at? I said, I got a game at Dykeman. He said, what time? He said, 7. He said, all right, I'll see you later. I'm in Jersey at a camp, but I'll see you later. I said, all right. So I hung up, act like, nonchalant, It's a fork in the road. All your life, what you say.
Yeah.
What you say all your life. Been overlooked. Nobody fucked with you. An NBA coach is coming to watch you play.
At Dykeman, that's
In
crazy.
the playground. It's not like you're going to an NBA venue that could be foreign, the rims are different, the ball's a bit different. You could be nervous. The first time going to an NBA arena. They come into the playground, your house.
That's crazy.
I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want the energy to shift. I looked at myself in the mirror, I got up and I said, look, 2 things could happen. You could man up or you could bitch up. You could do everything you have to do and show. Because if it don't work out, it can't be because of me. I fucked it up. Or you could bitch up and live with regret for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you've been listening to this story, which I know you have, the first time I fucked up was a couple summers ago when that Sid Jones coach came to the game and I laid an egg. So life's experience is the best teacher. You had an opportunity and you laid an egg. Learn from that. So the next time you get a real opportunity, you be locked in more and mentally prepared. He came. And our coaches, and them assistant coaches come, they come with a polo shirt, golf shorts. You know what I'm saying? He at the gate at Dykeman. That year they drafted Charlie Villanueva. I'm playing against the first place team. This the summer Homicide. Doubles come immediately. I know God was with me because no double came in the first half. I had 25 at half. They gave me a standing ovation at halftime. And I ended the half with a dunk. I said, second half came out, the doubles came. What do I do immediately? I finished with only 29 points, and I had 25 at half. What did I do immediately when the doubles came? Kick it to the open man.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the game I'm playing and where I'm trying to go, that I would be a 15th man on the roster if I make a team in the league. If it were to go that far. I understand I'd be a 20-20 player. You know what that means? Motherfucker, you in the game when you up 20 or down 20. That's it. That's it. So if you ahead of the game and you understand that, your decision making will be better. A smart person, kick it to the open man, kick it. I don't give a fuck if he don't make that shot. Show that coach you got the ability to recognize where the open man is on the court. You can penetrate and kick. Rafer Austin was up there at the time. Shout out to Skip. Rafer smaller than me. Rafer might be 6 foot. Slim. I'm 220, 6'3". The lanes are open in the league. There's no guard stopping me from getting where I want to go on a basketball court. Too little. I'm durable. I could take these hits. Chris Bosh, short corner. Jalen Rose stretching it. Mo Pete stretching it. As long as I get to where I got to go, I'm going to draw the defense in. And you kick it to the open man. Pick up full court. That's all you got to do. Don't turn the ball over. While you on the court. That is my job if I make an NBA team. What happens? After that game, he says to me, you know what impressed me most? Not the 25 at half. Your ability to find the open man when the doubles came. Good game. I'll be in touch. I said, thanks, coach. He left. Nobody else knew. But the commissioner, Kenny knew, and that was it. And I went home, and, we stayed in touch, and I got the shot to Toronto vet camp off of that. That's how I got to the Raptors. I also signed the sneaker deal with K1X, the German-based sneaker company, right? So when I say I signed the sneaker deal, they made the 187s, the police codes, the homicides for me, which was sold in Foot Locker global. Now let's talk about endorsement opportunities. What player not in the NBA had their own shoe in Foot Locker? Nobody. So now I got my own sneaker pack in Foot Locker. What a sneaker pack is, t-shirt, shorts, sneakers. Fucking incredible. Off of playground basketball. I won one-on-one tournaments. I did all of that shit. There ain't nothing I ain't done with this game than have a matching NBA bank account salary. There ain't nothing I ain't done. I played 14 years. I played all over the world. I've had 3 sneaker deals. I've been with Brand Jordan as well. I got MVP of a league bowling in my own shoe in the NBL. Won the G-League Championship, starting point guard. I did the whole circuit. After I get waived from Toronto, I go to the minor league. I go to the CBA, lead it in triple doubles. I ended up going to Boston for mini camp. I go to Indiana for summer league. Politics game. They play you when they play you. You know how that goes. They don't put you in, they don't fucking put you in. Whatever. Cool. Go to Denver. At this point, I'm living in Denver. I got married and moved to Denver. I'm in the gym every day. George Carl loved me. I'm in there going against Andre Miller. This when Melo was there. This when they had the crew. DJ, DeMar Johnson, JR comes the next year, Canby, all these motherfuckers, right? Chauncey from Denver. So I got the same mentality. I'm going in these gyms, and now I'm comfortable in the gym because I'm in there every day. I played my way into training camp in the vet camp with Denver. Because I'm in the gym going hard. You know what I mean? Mind you, now I got my first shot at 27 with Toronto. Now I'm 28. I get there. I get waived. Cool, no problem. Go to the G-League, the D-League at the time, not G-League. Dakota Wizards, starting point guard, we win the championship. Go to Summer League with Golden State. The whole circuit, right? Go to Summer League with Golden State. This is the shit people don't understand and know if you are not, been in them circles. Coach tells us, Keith Smart was the coach at the time, before we played the first Summer League game. Hey guys, how you doing? We at breakfast. Just want to let you know we got to get our guys in. Our guys got to play. When there's an opportunity to get you guys in, they get you in. They'll tell your agent whatever they got to tell your agent to get you there on the team. But then when you're there, whole nother story. For not everybody, but it was for me. So then he goes and says, look, just want to let you guys know, if we don't get you in, We'll get you in when we can. I'm telling you now, do not have your agent call us if you did not play. Because if your agent call us, we sending you home. So that just means, yo, listen, here's what's going to happen. Whatever the fuck we going to do to you, and that's it. Just take it.
Yeah.
So I sit the bench at Golden State. Cool, no problem. Now I'm about, 30. Now I got to go make some money. Because I've been doing the circuit, and it's a drug. The NBA is a drug, okay?
Right.
You get a shot of that shit, whoo! That's the illest high ever. That's the illest high ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and if you're not careful, you'll be stuck on that carousel trying to get there. That's just dealing. 10 days, you think you got like 5 more years in dealing. I understood where I was at. I was eating garbage prior to getting the opportunity to Toronto, right? So what my resume looked like? Nothing. I ain't making no real money. I ain't playing no respectable places. To demand money, to demand a good agent, to demand good opportunities. However, after I get away from Toronto, what the resume look like? NBA camp, minor league, NBA summer league, NBA camp, minor league, NBA summer league. Now all the teams overseas are looking at you like you were just on the cusp of making it.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna get a better agent, you're gonna get better opportunity, you're gonna get better money. And that's what happened. I was making money in street ball because I had these endorsement deals. They were paying me, and I was getting royalties off my line. You understand what I'm saying? So when you have more pots, I've diversified myself. It wasn't like, fuck, I'm just struggling off this D-League money. Yo, listen, like, if you were elite in playground basketball, I'm in commercials. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of shit I had going on. So I was good. Now I got a better agent. I go to NBL. Now I'm in Australia. Played Australia 4 consecutive seasons. Very rare an import stays in one country for 4 consecutive seasons, let alone one team for 3 consecutive years. I built a fan base. I built camaraderie. You know, I got I was like, I called myself like Westbrook before Westbrook, coming through crazy. That's when I had the mohawk designs. We coming fresh. We talking shit. We gonna tell you what we gonna do to you before we play you. We gonna do it, and then we leave, and then we on to the next one. I ended up my 3rd season getting MVP of the league, which that just stamps you. You know, when the Australia season is short, so when I was finishing there, I would go play elsewhere. I played with Sabona on the EuroLeague team in Croatia. I was going to Puerto Rico right after. You know, my hustle did not stop. Didn't stop. I was maximizing the window of opportunity because once it closes, that's it. And you never really know when it closes. Due to the fact that I'm able to talk a lot. Some people find me entertaining. Some people find me captivating. Some people feel what I'm saying. Some people think I'm talking a lot of shit. Either way you listening, right? I'm giving you a firsthand experience because the path that I took ain't a regular path.
Right.
I go to Middle East after I leave Australia after 4 seasons. I come back, visit a friend in Australia. NBL is under a new regime. Complete new ownership. They see me on social media in Australia. Homicide, you out here. Fuck you doing in Australia? Because it's so far. Nobody just comes. It's not like, you know, you're going to fucking Cali. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what the fuck are you doing in Australia? I said, listen, I'm just working out, visiting a friend. I was in between my contract for Lebanon. I was just basically waiting on my deal, working out here, visiting my boy. I get my contract, get my ticket. I go Melbourne to Beirut. We back in motion. Said, look, owner of the NBL, I want to talk to you. GML, rather. I said, oh, what do you want to talk to me for? I said, I don't know. I think it's a good idea for him to, you know, for you to talk. Talking with her. I said, okay, fair enough. Calls me. Homicide, how you doing? I just want to get right to it. want you to broadcast. We want you to be a commentator for the NBL. I said, I ain't no commentator. I said, we don't care. I said, I still play. We don't care. I said, I'm leaving here in like 3 weeks. I'm just waiting on my deal, working out. I'm just passing through. We don't care. We want you on air as long as we can have you here while you're here. So when you're going for a job interview, like most people, a lot of people aren't in a position to ask certain questions for fear of fucking up their opportunity for the job.
Yeah.
But when you're in demand, you can ask certain shit. Why you want me so bad? There's other imports that have been successful here. There's guys, imports, that live in Australia. Won championships, all of that. Why me? We haven't had anybody like you since you left here. People love your energy. People love you. Light bulb. 38. My goal was to stop at 40. That was my goal while I was well en route to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You talk a lot. You've had success in this country. You have a fan base here. People fuck with you here. It's a beautiful country to be in. They speak English. It's stable. You did well in this country, and your rep is clean. Just try this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Talk anyway. You can articulate yourself well enough to talk about the game. Just try it. Opportunities like this don't fall in our laps. We play international ball.
Facts.
So I tried it, and I said to myself, lock in and focus hard. I had a rapport in Lebanon. I played there 5 seasons. Team hit me. I said, look, I'm up to something. Go grab another import. He don't work out down the road. Holler at me. It was October 2015. I said to my boy, he was my best friend at the time. I said, look here, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to go hard with it. I ain't going to be out here, having a good time in the nightlife with, females. I'm going to lock in and focus because this can potentially be a long-term opportunity if I do it right. And I'm going to do it right. I studied the players. I had notes. Just like every game, you break down film after each time I do it. This is the first time I'm doing it live.
Mm-hmm.
Need to get comfortable. Got to know your shit. You got to know what you know. All right. They asked me, do you think you can see yourself doing this? Would you consider doing this long term? I said, yeah, if the package is right, I could consider myself doing this because obviously I would have to move to a whole nother country, just relocate completely and retire. After that season, I stretched it for a season. I was supposed to be there for 3 weeks. I said, if you give me 2 games a week and pay me X amount of dollars for 2 games a week, I'll do this. I stretched it from 3 weeks to 4 months. I pretty much did this season. It's a short season. Why would I do that? Get more experience. Mm-hmm. It's my rookie season. One could easily consider it like an internship, right? People go to school for this shit. February comes around. I got better. My team calls me in Lebanon. Perfect. I showed enough potential for you to bring me back at some point. And even if you didn't, I gave it my all. I went and got 1 chick. I got 1 woman I got with at the time. What does that do? Keeps me focused. I ain't out here gallivanting, looking for it. I passed that. At some point, you have to know and realize where you are at as an individual and prioritize. See where you want to be and do your best to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was able to do. I left. After that, I went to Lebanon. The next season, my mother got sick. I couldn't go anywhere anyway. And the season after that, they offered me a full-time deal. And I told myself, I'm going to knock it out the park. And I'm going to get me a long-term deal. After that contract, I signed the 2-year extension. And I'm at the end of my extension right now. And I told myself, after those 2 years, I'm going to knock it out the park and I'm going to get a long-term deal. And that's where I'm at right now. So my deal finished and I had my meeting about, I'll say, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm here for as long as I want to be here.
Is that exclusive?
Yeah. So, yeah. What I want to say is, these are the lessons now we get into with this thing.
Fact.
One, you have to always carry yourself as a professional on and off the court. We are all brands, whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
When you wake up to when you fall asleep, what you do that day will either strengthen or weaken your own individual brand.
Mm-hmm.
You will have done things in your life 4 years ago that may help you 5 years later without you even knowing. You can't be in these countries wilding out, doing stupid shit. If you were in the NBA, would you do these things? You treat it as such. This is your NBA. This is our NBA. Understand where you are as an individual, where you want to go. Write your goals down. What is your end game? This ain't no fucking career. This is a job. You get 401k for this shit? Any deal you sign for a full year, I don't care what it says, you're month to month. You know it as well as I do. Plenty of motherfuckers get fired and don't get the money. Why go to countries where you don't fit the style of play? You're setting yourself up to lose. Why? I'm not a European type of player. I played in Europe and I failed. Why?
Yeah.
I'm this way. Europe is this. Half court, passing around, play 20 minutes, might average 10. I don't shoot threes. Why am I going to a league where it goes like this?
Mm-hmm.
Understand countries. Understand your agent. Make sure he understands you and has his best interests in with you. This is education guys don't know. How would they know? They ain't on from that side of the world. They don't know what league is what. Motherfuckers hear Europe and just think, oh, the sensationalism of it. Nigga, you practicing twice a day.
Yeah.
You're tired. You are tired. Hoping you get paid. Everybody's not gonna be like, you know, you're blessed in being in incredible situations where, you know, you're playing on some of the best clubs in the world.
Right.
God bless you. Stack your chips. Take care of your family. You know why? Because the rainy day, one day it could abruptly end. You want this run to go, you run the scoreboard up. Because when it's done, you got to make sure you got your chips right and you in a position to where the transition is easier for you. Your kids ain't starting on second base. You understand what I'm saying? I started in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
We black men out here, we see what's going on in the world. This is real. What are you doing right now to benefit yourself later down the road? That's what it is. We are in a situation where it's so crazy right now. We ain't never been in nothing like this before.
Right.
How are you preparing when this is over to be better? What are you doing? Those are the type of questions I ask myself every day, the decisions that I make. Can my mother look at herself and say, that's my son right there?
Mm-hmm.
Can my daughter say, that's my dad right there? Can my wife say, that's my husband right there? They can't say that the decision that I'm going to make is not the right decision. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on, B. It's 4 phases of human evolvement.
Mm-hmm.
Identify what you're good at. Identify your profession, what you want to do, your talent. Be a pro at it. Flourish in that lane and send the elevator down. Ultimately, that'll just tell your legacy right there. Everybody ain't going to get that. but this is real shit.
Yeah, these is gems right here, man. This is
Straight gems for free.
Straight gems, man.
It's
Straight
free
gems. You taking us to school this whole entire whole entire episode, man. Like
I told you I'm coming with some real shit. You know,
man.
Again, everything a ball player would want to do, I done did.
Yeah.
I just don't have an NBA account.
Yeah.
Had billboards all over the world. I've been on covers of magazines. I'm just about to be on another cover. It's going to drop in about a month. And we ain't talking hoop. We talking mindset on it.
Mindset.
That's a whole nother lane. I've been on fashion magazine covers in the Middle East, Dubai, Paris. I done did all of that. I've had 3 sneaker deals with 3 different companies. Come on, man. And now I talk for a living. I couldn't do this right now in America. Why? My body of work as a professional athlete is not in America. So how could I add value? You didn't play in the league. You were in a star in the league. You didn't win in the league. You didn't win MVP in the league. You didn't do anything to why a TNT or ESPN would want to grab you.
Yeah.
That's why you got the Jalen Roses, and great for them. They did their thing on U.S. soil. You know what I'm saying? But could they relate to what the fuck is going on over here? They don't know international hoops. 3x3 just came out. 3x3, I'm supposed to be in Japan right now, just like a lot of people for the Olympics. I'm one of the analysts for 3x3 now. 3x3 is an Olympic sport. 3x3 is a cross between street and pro. These are all facts. This ain't me, blah, blah, blah. This is facts.
Yeah.
Slam Magazine just came out last year with a magazine that said one of the top 60 New York City basketball players ever. Complex dropped a couple years ago. Top 25 greatest street ball players of all time. ESPN dropped top 24 Rucker Park legends. I'm not making this up. These are legitimate publications. You understand what I'm saying? All from a dude that was in a dorm and said, well, I guess I'm going to have to just go play pro from here. Ain't shit you can't do. Can't nobody tell me you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
It's mindset.
You live
Run your own race, Pete. Don't follow nobody else. Run your own race.
Well, I want you to touch on I see your hoodie, the Wolf brand. I know that's something that you're proud of.
Yeah, man. Shout out the patient wolf. You know what the wolf is. You know, we are all wolves. A wolf is an ambitious individual going hard for their dreams until it come to fruition. We know plenty people that go hard and it didn't happen. They ain't no fucking wolf. A wolf make it happen by any means. That's what it is, you know? So, yeah, I'm very passionate about everything I do, and, you know, just ensuring that, you know, my daughter ain't starting on no fucking in the basement, B. Because all we got is our legacy. We doing what we love to do, bro. We doing what we love to do. Our shit is in motion. When it's all said and done, what will they say about you?
Right.
When you ain't here, what the fuck you got left?
How do you feel about the growth of the NBL? Like, you know, we got LaMelo, RJ Hampton, you know, all these guys coming over, these big name guys coming over and playing and stuff like that. How do you feel about the growth and where you see that going in the future?
I think it's incredible. I think that, you know, there's a lot of talent everywhere in the world, you know, so especially for this league, it's so far, people don't really know, but they've done a great job marketing it. They've done a great job aligning themselves with the NBA. You know, this league now has 9 teams, but, you know, a couple years ago, it was just 8 teams. And 2 years out of the last 3 years, they took 5 of the 8 teams to play preseason games in NBA. What league does that? What league can take 5 of 8 teams to the NBA and play multiple games? That's incredible in itself. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's tough. This shit is tough. Seen plenty of guys come over with big resumes, and just wasn't able to do well in the league. So that just validates the league even more. And respectable leagues in Europe, when the NBL is done, they grabbing the imports here and taking them. That never happened before. Guys are going to fucking Russia. Guys are going to fucking Spain. You know what I'm saying? Guys is going to Italy. Like, guys are going to big teams. You know what I'm saying? Like Cam Oliver right now, I think he's a rookie. No, this is his second year out. He did well in Kansas this year, signed with a team to finish up in Israel. He just finished up. Now Maccabi going to sign him. How does that happen?
But not only the imports though, but actually the Australian players. Like there was a time before, like you would never see, you know, Australian player, and now like the EuroLeague, NBA, like it's full of them now. So it's like, you know, you got one of my favorite players to watch, Mitchell Creek?
Mitch Creek.
Mitch Creek, he's one of my, because I mean he's a bruiser, a banger. I mean he was over in EuroLeague, playing in the league. You got Joe Ingles, you got Brock Bodum, you got all these different players. Our guy, Jock Landale.
Jock Landale.
Nate
Jawai.
Oh yeah,
big
Nate,
motherfucker, right? And that's how you actually, I feel that's how you rate a domestic league, a league based on the local players. The strength of the locals will determine, because imports are going to be imports. You're going to pay for the talent, right? Yeah. But the league strength will always rely on the locals. As you know, I don't care how good you and two other imports are. If your locals ain't popping, you ain't going to win.
You ain't going to win.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to win. So, yeah, man, the Australian, last year I covered the World Cup.
Yeah.
And Team USA came here, Australia played, New Zealand played, Canada played. And I'm at an incredible opportunity to, do interviews and halftime, full-time, pregame, Q&A and all of that stuff. Sideline. I was a sideline reporter for it. And to see the Boomers national team, like, they didn't even medal and they're ranked third in the world still.
Yeah.
That's the strength of Australian basketball without Ben Simmons. Like, Patty Mills is a dog. I didn't even know he was that nice. But he's legit. But yeah, man, Australian basketball is definitely on the rise. And it's just a great feeling to be in the midst of the height of the country playing their best basketball. Like, just to be in the mix and the league being the best and the strongest and the global respect, and for me to be playing the role that I'm playing is just an incredible feeling. It's a grateful feeling and a humbling feeling.
Now, last question before we let you go. You just mentioned that you're there in Australia and you're there during the kind of the rise of Australian basketball. What do you see your future as far as in this media game? You've been the person, like, you talked about earlier, that you always got a plan, you always got a list. So, kind of break down, like, what do you feel like your future is, this media game going on?
So ultimately, I know that this is my third season doing it. I want to be in America doing this. I think I want maybe like 4 more years here, 3 to 4 more years here. It would either be doing this in America, because then I would have the international experience and the respect coming from a respected league to go over and do it. Yeah. Or I would love to, ultimately, I think I would love to be an NBA scout. Mm-hmm. I think ultimately that would be my dream job. Mm-hmm. Like an NBA scout. Because I love the game. I love talent. I know what a diamond in the rough look like.
Facts.
So I think I really want Melo to go number 1 for that reason.
we all know that you the biggest proponent. You seen it a long time ago. You seen it a bit ago, like after his first game.
Ultimately, that's what I want to do, because I didn't believe the hype. I want to end it on that note, right? I didn't believe the hype. As a New Yorker, you know, we're the type of people like, I don't care what you say. I need to see with my own eyes. I don't care what you say. I don't care about the Drew League. Much respect to the Drew. Like, you can show me highlights of dudes that can't even really play D and he's doing a good move. Like, I don't respect it. I need to see it with my own two eyes. So he came here, he and RJ, I drilled them. I gave them the business the first interview. Gave him the business. And the first game he played, they played against, I call him the Australian Patrick Beverley, right? Six-time champion, six-time defensive player of the year. He locks up. That's the benchmark for point guards. When you match up against Damian Martin, let's see what you do. That'll let me know the type of season you're going to have. First time Melo played against him, we in Tasmania at the preseason blitz. Melo had 17 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals. They win in overtime. He was, I think, maybe 4 for 6 from 3, 4 for 7. I said right there, that's the #1 pick in the draft. His poise, how comfortable he was. Patrick Beverley is a harasser. You're turning your back on Patrick Beverley. This motherfucker's, his hesitation, speed up, chop it back, control the tempo, dominant, 6'7", pick and roll. Like, this kid is super talented. We all have flaws. He's going to have to get quicker defensively. That's more of an effort area. He's going to have to shoot the ball better, right? That's just look like his brother Alonzo. They just got to change how they shoot the ball. But talent, there ain't nobody in the draft better than him. And even if you don't need him and you got the #1 pick, you take him and you trade him. That's what you do. You know, let's look at the draft. I don't care if people say the draft is weak or whatever. I don't care. It's the draft. There's nothing you can do about that. What point guard is better than him in the draft? Don't tell me about the kid from Israel. Don't tell me about the kid in North Carolina, Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony had it in the first 2 weeks or whatever and then dropped off. He averaged 17, 7, and 7 in the NBL. Finished his last 2 games with a triple-double back-to-back. Triple-doubles back-to-back at 18 and averaged 17, 7, and 7 on the last-place team in the league. I guarantee you he averaged a double-double in the NBA next year. 18 years old. Those numbers is better than world fucking renowned veterans that played in the league, that played in the NBL. There's 17, 7, and 7. Don't look. You can't tell me nothing about that. Work on the shot, work on the defense, he'll be fine. That kid is a rock star. He got 5 real million followers. Puma offered him $100 million in a jet. Come on, man. That kid, they families like Kardashians, but for basketball. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's real talk.
real star.
He gonna be the best one. You align with Rock Nation and Hove? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta worry about, you know, a lot of times a lot of kids come from the hood, inner city, they get a bag of money and lose their mind. You ain't gotta worry about that.
Yeah.
You seen their house?
Yeah.
Have you seen the big baller house? Yo, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, how many dudes we know come from nothing, get a bag of money, lose their fucking mind? They come from money. So financially, it's no big deal. All you got to do is hoop. He's used to cameras. It's no big deal. These are transitional issues guys have. Coming from nothing and now all of a sudden you a superstar? Those are the biggest issues you really got.
Yeah.
Come on, B. Like the big picture as far as a brand, don't get no better than that young dude, B. James Wiseman, he might be nice. We don't know. And with the pandemic that hit, how will we know? He played 2 games in college. You gonna take the risk as a GM on that? Shit, I'm taking the risk on a dude that played in a hot-ass league that's legit. 17, 7, and 7. 6'7" point guard. That's generational, B. On some penny type shit. Yeah. Come on, bro. If I'm taking the risk after what he showed me, if I'm going to be your biggest hater, biggest doubter, I need to be the biggest advocate when you prove me wrong. You proved me wrong. That's why I'm like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been like that. You ain't proved me wrong. I've been like, yo, I'm fucking wasting time. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you taking the time from all the way from the other side of the world. You know what I mean? Taking the time and dropping these free gems, dropping this free game on us, man. You definitely took us to Corey Williams Homicide University right now, dropping all this
Wolf
knowledge.
Institute, baby. The
yeah,
Wolf
man.
Institute, baby.
Wolf
I
Institute,
appreciate
baby.
it,
Wolf
No
Institute,
doubt.
man. Definitely, man.
No doubt.
Hopefully when this pandemic's over, you know what I mean, we definitely link back up. You know what I mean, have a conversation and all that. But I appreciate you, my guy. Stay
appreciate it,
safe
yo.
out there
Y'all
and
be
everything.
safe, man. Y'all be safe, yo.
That's
Okay.
right.
Peace.